Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So as we all know, Wolverine finally got a trailer yesterday at the State of Play, and of course, no doubt, it looked amazing. I don't think we all had any doubt about it. It's been 4 years, but I think the wait was worth it. Game comes out fall of next year, and we're gonna see more gameplay, probably a whole mission just like they did with Spider-Man 2 in spring of next year. We'll probably see some more characters and get a little bit of insight on what the story holds for us. But yeah, this trailer gave me, I guess, a thought, right? A thought of what Insomniac might do after Wolverine. And I know this is kind of jumping the gun, Wolverine hasn't even come out yet. It doesn't come out until fall of next year, but I mean, it's cool to talk about it. So just looking at Insomniac's, if you want to call it, roadmap, right? In 2018, we had Marvel Spider-Man PS4. We had a remaster in 2020 of it. Then we had Miles Morales in 2020. 2023 we had Marvel Spider-Man 2, and now we're getting Wolverine in 2026. That leaked and rumored Venom game is also, probably gonna come out sometime in 2027. I highly doubt it's gonna come out next year with Wolverine. So probably gonna be a launch title similar to Miles Morales for the PS6. Just a game to really sell the new console, get people to buy it. And then of course we have Spider-Man 3, probably 2029. I don't think it's gonna be 28 just because I mean, the Venom game is coming out the year before that. It's very possible, but I think they're busy with the Venom game and also Wolverine, though I think the Wolverine team is separate from the Spider-Man team. Maybe, the people who made Spider-Man or worked on Spider-Man primarily, maybe they moved over to the Wolverine team. But I guess just to be on the safe side, let's say 2029, and plus the leaks that probably might have pushed some things back, shift some things around. So Spider-Man 3, 2029, then what, right? So, I think no doubt we're gonna have at least three Wolverine games. I mean, it would be kind of a waste if you just gave him one game, right? So let's just say, Wolverine gets the Spider-Man treatment, gets at least two more games, at least a trilogy. Now, what other characters could Insomniac make a game for? I've seen a lot of people say they should make a Hulk game because, I guess the OG kind of big three of Marvel, they have Spider-Man, now Wolverine. Why not complete it with the Hulk? I've seen other people say they should make a Deadpool game. That would be pretty cool. My main thought, and what I've been thinking for a while, is that Insomniac should do their own take on an Avengers game. Now, obviously, we had an Avengers game back in, I think, 2020, right? Now the game is shut down. You can't even buy it on any digital stores. You'd have to go buy a pre-owned version. The game wasn't really well received when it first came out because of the nature of it, right? It was a heavily live service game, and I mean, I guess just the style of it in general wasn't, people weren't a huge fan of it. It was a cool game, it was cool for what it was, but I don't think it was what most people were looking for. Most people, I think, were probably looking for something very similar to what Spider-Man is or what Wolverine's gonna be. The game did have its fan base after, all that commotion, but I do think it's been a while. It's been a long enough time now to the point where I think Insomniac could do their own take. The game wouldn't come out for another probably like 4 or 5 years regardless. So I mean, they've got time anyway. So like it could be a 10-year gap between Marvel's Avengers in 2020 to whenever that game would come out in like 2030 and beyond, right? I think Insomniac is definitely the team to go to now to make, well, specifically I guess I should say Marvel superhero games. They've earned the trust, and no doubt they can make an Avengers game. I mean, we've seen them do Spider-Man, we've seen them do now Wolverine. I guess Iron Man would really be the main difference apart from anybody else. We've had Venom, so they can do Hulk, no doubt, and Black Widow is somebody, I don't think that's going to be a problem for them. Same thing goes for Hawkeye, and I guess really Thor actually would be the main difference. Thor and Iron Man would be the main difference from any of the characters they've used in their games. Yeah, this is a thought I've had for a while, and I mean, my question is like, why haven't they I don't want to say expressed interest in it, but I mean, they've only done 2 characters now, and Spider-Man, it's not a new series, but it's still ongoing. They have at least one more mainline game, and then they're going to shift over to Wolverine, and then Wolverine most likely is going to have at least 2 more games after the first one. So, maybe they're just trying to stick to like a smaller scale thing, like focus on 1 or 2 characters at a time, 2 characters with Peter and Miles in the Spider-Man games, and just Wolverine, and I mean maybe some other playable characters in the Wolverine game, because that was leaked too. But maybe they just don't want to go large scale, right? Like they don't want to manage 5 or 6 different characters in one game. But if anybody can do it, I do think they could do it. And for what it's worth, I do think Marvel's Avengers in 2020 did the whole group team thing pretty well. Of course, the gameplay of it, even the gameplay was actually pretty good, I would say. It was just, like I said, the overall the way the game was. It was a live service game and all that, you know, very grindy. Yeah, if it was toned down, if it was just a straight up story game like what Insomniac seems to be doing with all their, you know, superhero games moving forward, then that I think is the way to go. Of course, if they were to do this, it'd be a lot more on their plate. Like the game would have to be, I think naturally the game would just be longer than what any Spider-Man game or even Wolverine would be, just because it'd be multiple different characters. You gotta have a way to manage that and give each character the proper time, the proper screen time and gameplay time. But like I said before, if anybody could do it, I believe Insomniac can do it. Seems like they are really passionate about their superhero games. Not only superhero games, but video games in general. They're, you know, they're one of the best developers, I'd say, especially nowadays. You know, I just remembered actually with the whole, you know, Insomniac leak, I believe we did see that they wanted to make a, you know, at some point wanted to make an X-Men game. So, I mean, it would make sense. They have Wolverine coming out, so it would make sense that later on in some way, shape, or form they make an X-Men game. Maybe they tackle that before an Avengers game if they ever do one. But again, that would be a team game. It'd be bigger and, I don't want to say better, but it'd be bigger and a lot more on their plate compared to Spider-Man or Wolverine. I think out of any of the games that I mentioned, out of a Deadpool game, a Hulk game, Avengers, or X-Men game, X-Men is probably the most likely just because we have Wolverine already here, and also, I mean, you know, again, the leak. After that, I'd say an Avengers game. I mean, you know, we know the Avengers exist in this universe. By the way, Wolverine and Spider-Man, the games are going to be in the same universe. I believe that was confirmed already. And we know that the Avengers do exist. The Avengers Towers in Spider-Man, they, you know, they don't show up ever. Seems like they're never there when they're really needed, but you know, they're there. Yeah, if I were to like rank them, I'd say X-Men after Wolverine, then an Avengers game. Because we have a Venom game coming out, I honestly don't think they should do a Hulk game anytime soon, just because their gameplay styles would be pretty much I don't want to say pretty much the same, but they'd be very similar, right? Pretty big characters, really strong, crazy abilities, tanks. So, you know, we don't really want, and I highly doubt they want to, you know, kind of essentially repeat the same thing back to back or almost back to back. So I'll say a whole game is out of the question for now, if we're getting Venom relatively soon. And who knows, maybe there are some other characters that will get games near in the future. You know, they're going to be characters in Wolverine that we don't know of. We have a couple characters like Mystique, and I mean, we saw Omega Red. I'm not too familiar with, you know, these characters, by the way. I'm familiar with Mystique just because in movies, but that's about it. I myself more of a DC guy, so, you know, Marvel, I'm familiar with Wolverine. Everybody's familiar with Wolverine, but yeah, I'm not going to speak too much about these characters, just because I don't know too much about them. But yeah, maybe in these games, apparently also, I think Jean Grey is a playable character in the game. Again, the leak, right? We don't know if they changed that, but you know, maybe she'll get a game sometime in the future. But yeah, just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What games do you want to see from Insomniac after Wolverine, after, you know, the Venom game, which seems to be coming out soon. And as always, if you guys enjoy the videos, like it up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.